Morning.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Very solid bounce at the open this morning.
Yeah, obviously big US lead. Trump's obviously got the market moving with his latest claims.
Yeah, it's his birthday on Sunday, so maybe this is a big birthday present for himself.
It could well be, or maybe he's going to do some bombing, likes fireworks for his birthday. You never know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Also, another big event on the US market tonight, the SpaceX IPO that starts trading.
Yeah, it's been heavily promoted, hasn't it? Looks like it'll be a very big number.
I think the retail side of it was four times oversubscribed. So I think with the you have an IPO that big that's going to put it, I think, in that 36th biggest company in the world. It means all those index funds are going to have to buy some to
Yeah,
balance it out. So you're going to see quite an amount of movement over the next few days, I think.
yeah. Well, depending how quickly it's going to be included in all of the indexes. I mean, if it goes in straight away, then there'll be a lot of competition trying to buy it.
Yeah,
I suppose the biggest thing will be, is there going to be any natural selling?
yeah.
Founders going to sell? Those that do get it in the IPO, will they be looking to flick it out for some quick money? So it could be
Yeah.
interesting.
I put a little story in our Reader's Digest that goes to our clients on Saturday morning about an article I come across about the potential of SpaceX, and it's probably worth a read as well. Anyway, we've got a few
Fantastic.
ideas to go through.
Yeah, jump into it.
Bring them up on the screen here. Um, First one we had there was an interesting one. Here we go. Well, my skills are slowly getting better at sharing screens, H, but
You're doing well, mate.
yeah. Righto, we're away. Banks in general, I think they all their charts look very similar, H.
They do. And it was interesting, that article that I think we shared around the office yesterday, but also that made it onto mainstream webpage with news.com.au having it up there about hedge funds shorting our banks. Probably the article's probably come out about 3 weeks or 4 weeks after the fact. But it is interesting to look at where the short positions in our banks have grown. CBA currently just over 2% of the stock is sold short, which
Yeah, right.
is pretty high for CBA. I'd say that's about double what its normal short interest is.
Yeah,
The other banks, ANZ's only got a small short position, 0.8%, but both NABs and Westpac around 1.7. So definitely has been some pretty solid shorting. One thing I've learned after 35 odd years doing this is when hedge funds short the Australian banks, they usually get it wrong. They're very, very good at picking the banks in our market incorrectly.
yeah,
Um, and obviously a lot of them were shorting CBA from about $120 all up to 180. And there's still obviously that negative bias for a lot of the analysts, but the stock still seems to be trading at a pretty solid level around 160. So the way I'd look at it is, when you do read stories about that now's the time to short the banks, that the move's probably already happened, and it's probably starting to get to a point where now's time to actually start looking at whether they're worth accumulating.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you certainly look at all their charts and they're all sort of nudging that technically they're all nudging oversold levels. So yeah, opportunity for contrarian type options trade for the upside, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, yields aren't probably giving the support that I'd love to see for the sector, but it definitely does look like it's probably been a little bit oversold in the short term. So these hedge funds, if they do get it wrong, may come in and start to cover if we see a bit of a push higher. So something to watch for. But definitely, I think you could dip your toe into the banking sector. Whether you wrote some puts under one of the banks if you're happy to buy some stock, or maybe a call spread for some sort of bounce in the new financial year.
Yeah. The other one we had up was A2M. It's an interesting stock at the moment as well.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good story. I put this out to a couple of clients earlier in the week. The idea of the stock sort of sitting around that sort of 530 level, 535 it was at the time. It's had a pretty solid run up from there. Where it's I think it's up at around 575 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
A2M. 588. So it's really
Wow.
had a strong run today. It's up
Good run.
nearly 7% today.
Yeah, right.
Looks still a stock we like, but potentially the opportunity there is moved for a short-term
Yeah.
trade. But definitely, I think the market's got a target of over $8 a share on the stock. So I'd be one that I think on any weakness, we could look at acquiring or looking to sell some puts, anything around 550, 575 for July should have pretty good premium on a bit of a pullback. So that's one I'd definitely target.
Certainly one to keep on the watch list for a little, even a small pullback would be one you could certainly look to get into.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. One I was looking at this week was APA. These recommendations come and go a bit. We watch the market, they fall, then they come up again. I think this is one we mentioned a few weeks ago, but it's well and truly at the top of its price targets. The premium isn't as strong in APA as some of the others, but certainly if you own 10,000 odd shares or so, you're going to get around that sort of $1,200, $1,500 mark. I think most clients usually buy at least 10,000, if not more,
Yeah,
around this sort of stock. So it's certainly one you can look to sell some calls and look for a little bit of premium out to, I'd probably go out to July. I think when I was looking at the prices this morning, they were out to July. So it's one that
yeah.
you could, and a lot of clients have this. I mean, there's not too many utilities actually left on our market, and this is one of them. So you could certainly look to sell some calls here.
Yeah, definitely. I think the yield starts to really drop off with the stock at these levels. So, writing some covered calls really sort of boosts that
Yeah,
income you're getting out of the stock. So,
yeah,
definitely think it's worth doing. And if you do lose the stock, there'll be an opportunity to write some puts to pick it back up over the next 3 or 4 months, as there always
yeah,
is. So,
yeah.
you could certainly trade that move.
Certainly, H, we've had an MCore on here for a couple of weeks now, recommending selling puts. And if you have a look at its chart, it's jumped quite a bit in the last 4 or 5 days. So, it's for those clients that actually did that, you can nearly look to buy it back for, a very small percentage of what you sold it for, take the profit and look to do one of these other trades we recommended today.
Mate, I've been doing exactly that, buying back some MCore puts and yeah, getting set on A2M earlier in the week.
Yeah,
So yeah, pretty happy with that. Still like MCore, but yeah, that fast money move's probably happened.
yeah.
Think it probably will break 60, but maybe just a little bit more time needs to pass through. Maybe a bit lower oil price to help with that.
Yeah, I think the deep dive we did on it a couple of weeks ago. I mean, it's still a quality company, but yeah, that
Yeah.
trade certainly ran its course and was a good one for a premium. Right, H, well, have a great weekend.
Well, mate, you too. I'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you next week. See ya.